8th, 2018. It is the Overtime Champions Season 3 semifinals between some of the two best teams we have left standing, the Hive versus Inglorious. Leading off our staff tonight is Carry Me riding cowboy over this rodeo. He's going to be our rep tonight. And we've got Clutch Key doing play-by-play. And first Boulevard in America. Beaten Up Boulevard's going to be our color analyst tonight. Take it away, guys.
Welcome you, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, to the Gold and Platinum Playoffs here in the Overtime Champions Community Channel. We welcome, my name is Klutchki, and we welcome the man with the plan on the Boulevard. He's from Broadcast GG, but you may have seen him on other Overwatch broadcasts. Please welcome my friend, Beat Down Boulevard. What's up, my man?
I'm doing great, man. How are you?
Good. So I'm doing good because we have an exciting matchup here. Semi-finals coming up, and we have a good one for you. Our number 1 seed in the Hive taking on Inglorious, the number 4 seed, who, by the way, had to play a play-in game coming into this and won 3-1 versus Slipstream. So they're going to have some momentum coming into this game.
5, 4.
So Nepal, what do you expect from these teams?
Pretty much what I'm expecting what we're seeing right now. It's just a huge death ball, both teams running the Junkrat, although the blue team's actually going to keep the Diva, probably anticipating the Junkrat from the other side. And what they're deciding to do, I guess, is they want to eat up all that damage and kind of mitigate it and help them win the shield war kind of thing.
Alright, so yes, you see the shield war coming out from both Hermes and Tiny on the other side as well, so that Reinhardt battle coming out, but also the Zarya for Tash as well for Inglorious. So right now, just a battle for the point. 5 people already on the point for Hive, and they're going to have themselves a quick pick. They're not even 10 seconds into the point, and we've already got the Hive taking the point over.
Yeah, you know, the Mercy goes down. You need to back off right away. There's no way you can really win this fight. But they kept the point first, so I guess what they want to do is just build as much capture percentage as they can. But it's actually starting to look like it's almost stabilizing here.
And so already you see Tash on the Zarya working hard, getting the double kill right now, helping out his team push the point. A 3v2 as Eco, D-Max, McStooks. And so Rez by an Artisan is going to keep Brigitte in play from Dynamic Speed, but it's still just a battle right now with Stagger as Inglorious has to try and find a way to flip the point right now. Earthshatter being used, 2 people going down there. Dynamic Speed going down, a huge pickoff from Wiz along with that Earthshatter. Here's the Deadeye from Eco, but not gonna get anybody, but still a good push by Inglorious, and they have the point.
Pretty good if you're pretty good if you're Hive here. You know, they got it up to 41%. Despite being on the back foot that entire fight, it took Inglorious a little too long, in my opinion, to actually flip it. But they did end up building a few ultimates in the end, but so did Team Hive, so we're probably going to see a lot of ults come in this next fight, particularly the Junkrat tire.
Junkrat Riptire coming in. Is that going to get anybody, though? Is not going to get anyone because Wiz does destroy it. Wiz does destroy the Riptire at the final second. Earthshatter coming in. That's huge. 3 people going down. Hermes is going to have it as well. And Valkyrie's going to come in, or sorry, Riley's going to come in for Dynamic Beast. Graviton, Surge also coming out, and that's going to help out Inglorious. But at the same time, Self-Destruct coming in. What a placement by Mistook right behind the shield. Going to get both Tash and Tiny, and that is going to allow Hive to come back in with that flip. What a play there on the Self-Destruct by McStooks.
Huge play indeed. Now Team Hive did flip the point in their favor, however, they actually had to use all their ults to do it. So, you know, it's not too bad if you're Inglorious here. They have the Junkrat's Riptire, they have the Valkyrie, and soon Eco's Deadeye as well. So, you know, if they use their ults conservatively, like the way they have been, they can flip this and have more to spare.
So we're going to see another push here by Inglorious, losing time on the clock right now. Really 69% for the Hive right now, so it's just going to be a push. Funimation starts us off with a kill on Tash, and the Rez from Xtef is going to bring that Zarya back into play. Riptire now being used by Funimation. Is that going to get anyone? It does get Wiz in the process, so there goes the Riptire from Inglorious, but still Hive has themselves a good defensive push, and now 86% left to go. Inglorious has only 1 fight left to go here on this map.
Inglorious, 4 ults, but still, they're in 1 fight territory. They need to make something happen right now, and this Junkrat tire is probably what's going to do it.
Riptire coming in here. Hermes starts us off with a Fire Strike on Tiny. Eco's going to also use that Deadeye here. Wiz gets the kill on Hermes, and not much happening for Eco. Does get the D-Mac on McStooks. Earthshatter coming out now for Tiny is going to get the pick on in Artisan, so that's going to push Hive back just a little bit with the loss of their Mercy. And Dynamic B is going to have themselves a kill on Ecole. Sartre with the kill on McStoops, but that's not going to be enough to push out, or that's not going to be enough for Hive to push in. Inglorious has themselves the flip with 1 fight left.
Yeah, that's right. You know, this isn't the position you want to be in right now, especially with the fact that Hive has 3 ults already on their side, and all they have to do is take the point once more. As long as they can beat out the Transcendence here and weather it, and then use their ults to win it, they can definitely take this. And we're going to see what this Junkrat Tire can do. Oh my goodness.
Oh my goodness. Wiz trying to get away from the Rip Tire, but it's no use as McStep and Wiz go down. Tactic Visor coming out for Banana, gets 2 kills as well. And Hermes also ends the fight with Tash. So Hive gets themselves 5 kills in that team fight. And Inglorious isn't going to make it, which means the point 1 here on Shrine is going to go to the Hive, your number 1 seed.
Yeah, good play from Hive here. They were definitely really good about how they used their ultimates. That last Junkrat Tire was excellent as well. The double kill on a point where all you really needed to do is get 1 kill off that ultimate. And so much value came as a result of it.
And really, yeah, I mean, it looked like we saw 1 Rip Tire coming out of every fight there, almost every team fight there, but really Wiz coming out with, rather Funimation coming out with a big one on Wiz, so that was a huge one going in for Hive to try and hold that point for game number 1. So we come in, oh sorry, I'm sorry.
No. I was just gonna say, yeah, it's a good start. They have this map, they're actually opting for the pulled pork strategy right here. Whereas Inglorious isn't actually going for it at all, you know, the only real common pick here that they have is the Junkrat, so they're gonna have to be really careful. They're really slow moving, and they gotta be careful not to get taken advantage of by the CC. Kind of like that.
McStoops already gets the halt on Wiz, so there goes him on the environmental kill, and really a very friendly environmental kill oriented map here. Hermes goes down with the arms with the hook by Tiny goes down by the hook of Hermes in that map fall as well. So really a good push by Hive. Again, they're gonna take this point fast, not even 30 seconds within the unlock.
Yeah, insane. You know, when you don't run the CC heavy composition, you know, you'd want to run like at least a high mobility comp or something like that. So in some way you can kind of respond to that. But when you're slow moving, like the comp that they have right now, you got to be careful. You know, you can't make any positional mistakes. Otherwise, what'll happen is what we just saw.
Tiny's going to play up a little here on the charge, but Tash is going to be left all alone up on that point. Now, Tiny's going to come back into it as McStep gets the res on Tash. Here comes the Rip Tire from Funimation. Is going to die in the process, but where's the Rip Tire? I don't see the Rip Tire so far, so that may have been a waste on the ult from Funimation. So still coming in with the fight, though. Inglorious still pushing back on the push and shove here on the stagger. We'll see if anybody else gets the play that they want. Firestar coming in, not going to get anybody here. And so another environmental kill. There's the hook for Hermes one more time. Tiny does not have the answer for this. Whole hog coming in for Hermes, and that is going to push them back all the way. Inglorious needs to find an answer quick here. They've got 1, maybe 2 more fights left on 58% on this point.
Insane. Inglorious doing absolutely nothing here about this. The CC, they're just getting wrecked by it back and forth. At least, you know, take a different approach. You can jump down on the side. It's a lot harder for you to get knocked off like that, but either way, they just keep kind of ramming their heads into this brick wall. Now they have some ultimates going for them. Probably going to see the Dragon Blade in the next fight with another support ult. Hopefully that'll give them, you know, what they really need to open this up. But still, it's not looking good. 80%.
And they may only have 1 fight left as we move on here, but like you said, they have it here. Another hook by Hermes. This is insane. Tiny just doesn't have the answer for this. 3 ults being used. There goes Sartra's ult there. Also gets ulted by McStoops. Here comes the Rip Tire here. Not going to get anybody, though. So Wiz wastes on basically every ult wasted except for Eco. Gets the double kill on the Dragon Blade, but not much else. The Hive is going to have themselves the advantage on this point right now as McStep gets the res on Tash. So right now, just a fight by Inglorious, and Hive is going to get pushed back a little bit here with only a Reaper and that Mora in play on the point. Funimation going to try and hold it as long as he can. Does get booped off by Wiz's concussion mine. So finally, Inglorious finds the answer, but with 99% left, they got to hold this all the way.
Yeah, once again, putting themselves in not the most comfortable positions. Now they cannot lose a single fight, and only the Earth Shatter to their name is going to be really difficult. But if he can use the cancel Banana's Soldier Sights, it might actually work out really well for them. But he needs to be careful from the CC. Tiny just keeps getting abused by the Roadhog hooks.
The Earth Shatter coming in from Tiny, but getting stunned at the same time. So that's a good start for Hive if they want to take back this point. Another halt by McStukes, and Dynamic means the same thing. Tiny just getting knocked off this map wherever he goes. So basically, Hive knows the answer to Inglorious. They've got the Coalescence up, they've got the flip, the team kill, and the win here on Nepal, 1-0 in favor of your #1 seed in the Hive.
Man, good gameplay here from the Hive. They adapt so well. You know, they don't run, they don't stick to any one composition. If something's not working, they immediately just go back to the spawn. They try something new, or they adapt on the fly. You know, like they opted for the Reaper instead of the Junkrat because they just felt it would be easier for them to deal with what Inglorious had, and it did end up working out for them really well.
And now let's go to that play of the game, because Moira from an Artisan really coming in clutch to help that team kill, really getting the 5 kills, are coming in with that 5 kill participation that they really needed. So coming into this next game, Inglorious has to clamp down somehow going into our next map. So what does Inglorious need to do to really try and switch this up on Hive?
It's funny you use that phrasing. I think they just need to learn to switch up the comps a little bit. You know, you can tell that sometimes specifically the comp they're running isn't really working. And on top of that, I think it's just positional mistakes. You know, they seem to play pretty well, but they always get caught in the wrong place, or they always put themselves in the wrong place and they suffer for it. But it was never more obvious than it was on Sanctum when Tiny just kept getting thrown off the map. He could never stay in a fight more than 5 seconds.
And so we have, so next coming up is Escort, and really just switching, like we said, switching it up for Inglorious. And they had themselves a loss against TG Slipstream, but won the other 3. But this is in a different situation here, because now you're not facing the #5 seed, you're facing the #1 seed in this tournament. So Hive playing a really well done job. They're not giving up much percentage to Hive, really. So what did you see on Hive coming into our next Escort map here? We're playing Gibraltar coming up here. What did you see from Hive that really is helping them push forward here as your #1 seed?
Well, I can see from just the way that they're playing, they're really good with stalling. And you know, when you're playing King of the Hill, it's really important. You know, especially on the first map, the Nepal Shrine, they stalled the point basically to 40% in what was literally a losing fight. But you know, they managed to get people in and off the point to keep the percent building in their favor. And then, you know, when they finally got taken down, they still had so much percentage in their favor, which was basically given to them for free because they didn't have to give up anything for it.
All right, so we're coming in now. Watch point and Gibraltar coming in as we have a substitution for Hive. So a little bit of a switch up here. McStukes is going to take the leave, and Stub is going to come in for McStukes, it looks like, for Hive. So really going to maybe change up the team comp a little bit. But we go into watch point Gibraltar now, and really just a very open map, to say the least, for an Escort map. But what do the teams really need to do to try and take over this island of watch point?
Well, you know, it's pretty much the same thing you got to do in most maps. You need to get your ult economy in check. You need to coordinate as best as you can, and you need to make sure you're on the objective. You know, what can I say is any different from other maps?
All right, so watch point here coming up in just a little while. It looks like someone did leave on Inglorious's side. Do not know where he is, but I guess we're also having a little bit of a sub as well. A little bit of a mess up here in the custom game lobby here is Simple Muffin comes in, but also Kaya comes in as well. So we don't know where Kaya came in from. But we're going to see if we can get this thing started here. Inglorious having 1 sub, as well as Hive subbing out 1 person as well. So a little bit of a team change coming in. And Tash is going to get subbed out for Simple Muffin. So that's where the sub comes in for Inglorious. So we will see how that affects Inglorious's gameplay. Maybe Tash can, or maybe the addition of Simple Muffin can change up Inglorious's style.
Yeah, that might be what they want to do. They need to, because they definitely need to change something up, because it wasn't just any loss in that last map. They actually lost quite convincingly. So I think they know that something needs to change if they're going to switch this into their favor.
And so we come into round number 2 now, and for those of you that haven't catched up yet, and we're in the Gold Platinum Playoffs semi-final game between Hive and Inglorious here. We'll move on to our second map here finally. Watch Point Gibraltar coming in, the island map here for the escort. And to start off our attack, it's going to be Inglorious here, your number 4 seed. Starting off the attack, so we'll get to see how Inglorious plays Gibraltar as we have one sub on each side. Stub is going to come in for the Hive, as well as Simple Muffin coming in for Inglorious, so a sub, and it really could change the dynamic of the game going into our escort map here on Gibraltar.
That's right. So now, as the teams are assembling, oh, looks like we're gonna have a pause. Actually, somebody is disconnected.
Somebody disconnect. I don't know where the Tash leaves the game, so that takes out the pause.
Oh, I see. Okay, well, we're back then.
There we go, we're back. So we're back here on Watch Point Gibraltar here. And like I said, Inglorious is going to start off our attack here. The Hive going to start off on our defense. So you're going to see a little bit, you're going to see Team Comp coming in already here for Hive if they have 60 seconds here to prepare their defenses. We'll see Stub on the Widowmaker here, so something we didn't see back on Nepal, a sniper back on Nepal, really no Hanzo or Widowmaker that's coming out, and finally we see Stub coming into play it, so this could be huge coming into Watch Point Gibraltar.
Yeah, it could definitely be huge. You know, Nepal is not the best Widow map. I mean, if you're really good, you can make it work on the Shrine, but I can understand why it's not ideal for a lot of teams to try it out. But here on Gibraltar, great map. Definitely a good pick for the defense here. So as long as Stub can land those shots, it can be a really big boon to this team's defense.
And let's take a look at Inglorious' side now, because that Junkrat not on Nepal wasn't really working for Wiz. He's onto the Tracer now, so this could be huge. And then Simple coming in with that tank play. He's on the D.Va right now. Tiny switching on over to the Winston. He was on Reinhardt earlier, but got shut down a lot back on Nepal due to the environmental kill. So Tiny's going to change it up here on Gibraltar.
That's right. You know, Inglorious actually has a pretty good comp here. They have the Mercy Zen dive. As long as they can kind of play just around or outside the Brigitta's range, all the CC that she has can't actually affect them too bad. And as long as they keep pressure on Stub on the Widowmaker, this could actually work out really well for them.
And already we see the push by Inglorious here as the payload not moving. Nobody on the payload right now, so really a 6v6 up on top right now, and just pushing and shoving basically, trying to get this payload moving, as we'll see Sartre just keeping that down on the payload right now, along with that D.Va from Simple Muffin. So really just a push and shove kind of a thing, just trying for the Hive to feel out what Inglorious has to offer. Stub gets the pick off on Eco, so right now the Widowmaker battle working in Stub's favor, as Eco gets rezzed by McStuffin. There's the D-Mech on Simple as well, but Simple at the last second gets the pick off on Stub, so that takes care of the Widowmaker, and a good defensive hold by Hive. So Inglorious now, 2:56 left on the clock, now still pushing this up, but a push and shove still in Hive's favor.
Yeah, pretty solid hold. Now they're holding on to this point. However, the Pulse Bomb could really change this.
Yep, and Wiz starts off with a Pulse Bomb on Dynamic Beast. Here comes the Dragon Blade from Ecole, gets the double kill. Don't know where that first one went, but does get the kill on Funimation. And so the Earthshatter coming in for her is trying to do what he can as well to try and clear off this point a little bit, but this payload very close to it. Self-destruct coming in that bubble though, so really not going to do much of anything there for, who is it, for Banana. Rally coming in for Dynamic Beast right here in the middle, still trying to get the push and shove here. Simple, the only one at this point. Self-destruct coming in. Now, is that going to get anybody? Does not get anybody in range, so everybody clears out just in time. And still pushing up here. Inglorious now, with the addition of Hermes, is going to get pushed back all the way, and Hives has themselves a defensive point coming in 2 minutes left to go.
Yeah, solid hold indeed. We see Hermes going for the solo shatter, essentially getting McStuff. And you know, once you kill the Mercy, it's really difficult. Oh my gosh, as soon as I say that. Yeah, Mercy goes down, your push is kind of over. You need to regroup and get it done again. What Inglorious really needs to do is they need to just kind of pick a target. I think they're a little too split up right now, and they need to start putting some pressure on the Stub, because you know, he's really landing some shots now.
And Stub actually really close right now to the upper deck here. Eco's looking for the reflect pick on Stub, but it's not going to happen. So we see another pulse bomb. There's the land on Wiz. So Wiz on this tracer, looking so far so good with that pulse bomb. The only question is the follow-up here for the rest of Inglorious here. All by himself, Simple out in front all by himself. Primal Rage being used now. And here comes the Riptire. Is that going to land anything from Funimation? Is going to get the kill on Simple before he dies to Sartre. So really just a good push. Here comes Eco on that Dragon Blade. Gets the kill on Dynamic Beast. Gets the kill on Hermes. So a double kill so far. Gets the DMEC on Banana as well. So Inglorious finally has an answer for Hive. And they have themselves a push. They're going to get point number 1 with 45 seconds left to go.
Man, Wiz, the MVP of that push for real. Getting the stick, pulse bomb stick onto the Mercy was such a huge opener. Although it started to look like Inglorious was beginning to fall apart, the DPS and Tiny were really just working well in sync together, getting the kills that they need. That Dragon Blade coming in at the end just guaranteed them that they were going to do it.
So it looks like actually, it looks like really Inglorious finally finds an answer. Now the question is Hive going to be able to respond back here, because we've seen them look good on some pushes here. I mean, they pushed them all the way to 45 seconds left to go. That's just the question is, can they hold them for the rest of the way?
Well, it's not outside the realm of possibility. Now they're running the dive as well to counter the dive that they have. And oh my gosh, Banana, 2 kills.
Banana gets the double kill on the self-destruct for Sartre and Mixed. So that takes out both of the supports. So Inglorious forced to reset here, so no kills coming. Tiny's gonna force himself back, and Hive really has themselves a good push courtesy of Banana.
Yeah, you know, when both your supports go down, you really gotta back it up here. But now it's given Inglorious actually has 3 ults going to this next fight. You see Eco building up to the next Dragon Blade. He's been pretty good with them so far. So, you know, we can only expect that this next push is going to go well, especially if they almost caught Funimation here.
And you're going to see Wiz with that pulse bomb as well, looking for another kill. Stuck twice so far, looking for a third one maybe. But you see that payload stopped right now, 1:50 left to go. That's not what you want for Inglorious. They got to push this all the way. Dragon Blade comes out for Eco, gets 1 kill on Stuff, so right now looking for every kill that he can. Eco's missing a few swipes here, looking for some more. And so really Eco on this Dragon Blade so deadly, allowing Inglorious to push up one more time. Now they have 1.5 minutes, and they've got it to the second point coming into this last one.
Yeah, really great play. Got the Dragon Blade, managed to get so many, even without the final blow. Did enough damage that his team was able to follow up here. And that that stagger onto Dynamics really gonna hurt them too. They still have 2 ults in this next fight, and all they gotta do is watch out for Funimation's Death Blossom here, and they could really make this work for them.
And Artisan has that Valkyrie as well with Hermes Primal Rage, but Primal Rage just being used by Tiny to push up this payload just a little more here, which does work as they get it around the first turn here. And now Hive just looking for something to defend off Inglorious with, because they've been looking so far so good here on the second point. Now they're just looking for the answer on the third as we approach our next team fight here. Looking for something. Hive pushing up Inglorious. Here comes the Death Blossom you were talking about with a clutch trance coming out here for Sartre on that Zenyatta. So a really good play there. And Tiny takes care of Funimation. Wiz, what a stick on the Mercy. That's twice now that Wiz has got himself a kill on the Mercy. Eco now on the Dragon Blade. Self-destruct right in that bubble. Not going to get anybody but the Dragon Blade. One more time on Hermes. And Eco is going to let this payload push up to the... and now Inglorious in the home stretch.
Man, Wiz and Eco are absolutely popping off. Wiz always landing the stick onto the Mercy. Eco just getting the Dragon Blade all the time. You know, it's really been a big help for these teams here, too. Tiny making the space that he needs, but these two are really taking full advantage of it.
You can see Wiz and Eco landing up a lot of kills on that kill feed right now. Eco does get the DMEC on Banana, gets credit for it, as well as the kill on Banana. So really, it's just going to be a push-up, but the question is, can they get in the last seconds here? Yes, the May switch on over. How about Wiz on this pulse bomb? Not less than 1 kill on most of his pulse bombs there. Gets the kill on Funimation, so that's going to help them push up a little bit. The May coming up to try and stall out a little bit. That's going to come out from Dynamic Beast. Here comes the Dragon Blade from Eco one more time, and is this going to be enough? Gets the kill on Banana. Funimation, the only one left on this point to try and defend, is going to get cleared out, and so Inglorious is going to have themselves all 3 points with some time left on the clock. What a push by Inglorious there, and now it's Hive's turn to try and reflect.
Man, what a push indeed. Eco's a beast. This guy getting his Dragon Blade all the time. It's unbelievable.
So, but they don't have as much time now because you have a minute. You have less than a minute left to go if they get to the second try. So Inglorious really got to clamp down here and try again against the Hive. But really, the question is, what does Hive need to do in order to take down Inglorious right here?
Honestly, I think Hive just needs to. I think Hive needs to play how they were playing in the last round, but I think they need to not play the Reaper. I think that was a bit of an odd swap there. There wasn't really any value coming out of it. I think if they stick to probably a Death Ball, they showed they could play that really well in the last map, and Death Ball works really well here on payload maps, I should say. So I think if they do that and actually, you know, try to catch the dive from Inglorious, they could probably finish this map.
And you're going to see here the team comps coming up now. Inglorious back with pretty much the same thing. Eco now on this Widowmaker, so trying to have a sniper battle if Stubb stays on that Widow. Going to be a Widowmaker battle, but you can see the Tracer coming out from Wiz. Wiz having so many huge plays with those pulse bombs on the Mercies that Hive had, so really going to be effective if he keeps doing this to Hive.
Well, that's right. And another thing Hive needs to do is if they're gonna, they really need to shut down the DPS of Inglorious, because right now they're just absolutely tearing it up.
And so 10 seconds left to go. Hive now has to find a way to come in here, and Artisan moves on over to the Moira to start us off here. And so Funimation sticking on that Reaper, so like you said, a little bit of an odd choice, but he elects to stick with this Reaper, starting off on point number 1. So we'll see how this push goes for Hive. Your first push, attempting Eco looking for the first pick, not getting much of anything here, as most of the team will stick up on the upper deck of the first turn as that payload moves into the first turn. You'll see only by himself here, Funimation stays alone on top of him by himself, and otherwise the rest of his team is going to stick on this payload. So a good push for Hive so far. Inglorious really not paying attention to the payload right now. Hive is just moving this with ease.
Yeah, they didn't really want to commit to it. Now we see Eco kind of focusing on to the Widow duel here, but you know, they took too much time, and because of that, Tiny actually goes down. This isn't really looking good for them. They need to move more as a unit, especially if you're running this dive composition.
And at the same time there, Wiz gets the double kill, so that staggers out Hive just a little bit here. Moving in, and Wiz is going to try and camp that server room out, trying to get Dynamic Beast, but just too mobile. But Simple Muffin does have the answer for him at the same time. Pulse Bomb comes out for Wiz. Doesn't get anything there, no sticks or anything, but at the same time, Inglorious does have the answer in Artisan with the Coalescence right now, and Tiny trying to cancel that out. But Stubb gets the pick on Eco, but it's not going to matter much. Inglorious with the good defensive hold, so 2:40 on the clock. Hive, no answer for Inglorious right now.
Yeah, so far they're holding really well. Now they got to be careful though. Funimation does have the Death Blossom. As long as they can take out Starter before he can use the Transcendence, that's really going to be a dangerous thing for them.
And looking into it too, yeah, gotta take him out. And there's the takeout by Funimation, so the Death Blossom door could be open here. It depends on where it is though. As like I said, as Starter goes down with that Transcendence, Primal Rage gonna come out now from Tiny. So we'll see if he can push on anybody and get the kills here. Valkyrie coming out now for Max Steph. Self-destruct coming out right on the middle of the payload. They're not going to get anybody. So Banana fails with that self-destruct there, not getting any kills. But Walls Bomb here does come out from Wiz, but not getting anybody either. So Hive looking so far so good, pushing up this payload into the final meters of the point. No contest. Hive gets themselves 4 minutes on the clock for the next point.
Yeah, you know, it really started to fall apart there. I think with Eco on the Widowmaker, it's hard for him to get like the real punching power that he needs to actually really help with this point, because you know you see him just shooting into the shield a lot, and it's really just on the Wiz to apply the pressure that's needed for Hive to actually, for them to be able to hold Hive back. So I'm starting to think they might want to run a switch here, but yeah, probably a switch on something else.
And Sartre still has that Transcendence, and with Funimation's Death Blossom, so we'll be watching to see how that plays out if Sartre doesn't get picked off first. In the meantime, team fight coming up here with Death Blossom coming out for Funimation. Does get one in the background, but Sartre is there to heal the rest, along with the Earth Shatter coming in from Hermes here. Self-destruct coming in for the devote, placed in the back, but Hermes there to shield it away. In the meantime, Eco does get 2 picks. That takes care of the Mercy, so that allows Inglorious to push up just a little bit on the Hive. Hermes the only one on the point right now. Simple still trying to stay alive as he gets D-Max, but is out as well. So really just a push here, trying to kind of like a push and shove here for Inglorious and Hive, but really just a stagger here on both ends.
Yeah, especially that Earth Shatter, really unnecessary here, except Stub just deciding he wants to kill everybody all of a sudden. And wow, despite that didn't actually, wasn't ideal for them, actually might end up working in Hive's favor.
Self-destruct coming in, Primal Rage is going to jump out there, but does get the kill on Tiny at the last second, right in range. And Nicole does get the headshot on Stub, but it's not going to matter. Third point here, and unlike Inglorious, Hive's got 4 minutes on the clock to take this all the way home.
Yeah, I think they're finally switching off the dive comp. It's probably a good idea. Funimation giving too much trouble to Tiny on the Winston. Now that there's Reinhardt, he has a more meaningful way to block that damage and provide a bit of cover for Eco, in theory at least, who's going through the sniper duel right now against Stub.
So we'll see this payload being moved up even further now. McSteff gets the rest on Eco finally, and now they get into turn number 1, not just around turn number 2 just yet here. Eco starts us off with the pick on Stub, so that takes care of the Widowmaker. In the background, Death Blossom coming out. Funimation gets McSteff, but not much else as he's pushed away. Here comes the Pulse Bomb, not getting anybody. Hermes aware of that Pulse Bomb, but does find the hands of Simple Muffin. So right now, once again, another push and shove. This one going in Inglorious's favor so far, but Hive got themselves Banana and an Artisan who goes down by Eco's hand. So a push up by Inglorious, a defensive hold by Inglorious, and Hive's going to have to find another call here. 3 minutes left to go on the clock.
Yeah, you're not feeling so bad if you're Hive here. You have the Earth Shatter, you have 2 support ults. You can definitely make some kind of push here, but they really got to be careful. You know, Wiz already almost has another pulse bomb. Eco popping off. Both of these two, like, they need to do better to shut this team down, or they're going to struggle, especially going to the last point.
Earth Shatter coming in. 2 people go down. Sartre goes down as well as Simple Muffin. Tiny gets the kill on Hermes though. Here comes the self-destruct. Is that going to get anybody? Yes, it gets in Artisan. So a good push right now for Inglorious as that takes care of one of the healers. And Simple Muffin also going off still on this Diva. So Hive getting pushed back one more time. Not quite yet in the home stretch. Does get it a little bit around turn number 2, but still the answer from Inglorious has Hive questioning what they have to do here in the last 2 minutes.
That's right. Now they're actually going to the dive comp with the Junkrat. I guess the idea is probably just it's what they're really going to want to do is break Tiny's shield and, you know, prevent any cover from actually reaching his team.
Earth Shatter coming in, that's huge. That's going to get an Artisan as well as Funimation going down by the hands of Sartre. And Wiz also getting a good kill. So 3 kills on the team feed for Inglorious. And right now, the Hive just does not have an answer. 1:40 left. So a similar situation with Hive, like Inglorious, can't get it around the turn right now. So Hive really has to clamp down and find an answer. 1.5 minutes left to go here in this match.
That's right. Stub, actually, the team in general, Hive's kind of making a little too many swaps here. You know, they keep resetting their ult economy. Now Stub switches onto the McCree. I guess he wants to, you know, move up a little bit with the dive, get up close, probably get some value out of the flashbang. However, he's going to have to be really careful of Eco because now no one can really contest him, you know, because McCree is no sniper.
Stub in the background too gets killed by Simple as Inglorious recognizes it right away. So Inglorious has themselves another push. Self-destruct being thrown out right there by, I believe that's going to be by Banana, but for no use as no kills there. So Inglorious has themselves another defensive hold. So Hive really going to clamp down here. 40 seconds left to go. Not as much time as you see. Tiny gets the double kill with that fire strike. So Hive really got to find an answer here. 40 seconds left to go, and this payload still reversing.
It is, and man, Inglorious is about to have they're about to have all 6 of their ultimates. They're playing so well right here around this corridor. This is really going to be difficult for them. The really only thing Hive can depend on is the Junkrat tire that Funimation is about to get, but he's going to have to come in huge because they still need to win 2 more fights if they want to take it.
And Eco starts us off with good pick, and here comes the self-destruct. Not going to get anybody on the side of Simple, so 4 ults down now for the team from Inglorious, and none left for Hive as the Primal Rage comes out from Hermes. But Eco, how about the sniper play from Eco right now? Getting the picks off. Stub ends it though, so we head on into overtime. So Hive really got to try and push this point here as Inglorious has themselves a little bit of trouble here with the push and shove now, but still Inglorious winning the battle on the payload. Dynamic is the only one trying to get the res. Not going to be in time. What a stop there by Simple Muffin. still in Artisan on that Lucio, trying to get it off here, but overtime. And on map number 2, it's
Play of the game.
Impressive, if I do say so myself.
longer their advantage 1-0. We're now in a 1-1 game here. So what both teams now knowing that they're coming into a 1-1 game, what if you're both teams, what are you thinking right now going into our next map?
Well, honestly, if you're Hive, you're thinking of how do I deal with Wiz and Eco? Those guys are honestly just killing it. They're playing so well. They're always putting themselves on the board, making the huge plays their team needs. I think if you're Inglorious, you just need to. They're probably realizing towards that second map, like just give Wiz and Eco the space that they need. You know, I think it really all just comes down to either supporting or shutting down those two.
And yeah, and so Inglorious, Wiz and Nicole really coming out here. But the let's talk about the Widow battle there that was going on, because Stub does come in and pretty much basically plays Widowmaker throughout the entire rounds that Hive has. But Stub really getting picked off by Nicole. So if you're Hive right now, what do you need to change up coming in? What do you need to change up here for the next round?
Well, that's basically what I was saying. You need to shut down Wiz and Eco, and you need to give space for your own DPS as well. Because Stub especially is no slouch. He plays really well. Got the better of Eco in a few duels. You know, like he's not nobody. But the problem is, like, you need to go that extra mile because of how well Wiz and Eco are performing.
Mm-hmm. So now Hive has their pick of the map here as Inglorious bans Hanamura. So we move on to Volskaya Industries here in the assault map. Now the control point's really hard here, but I would be, in my personal opinion, Volskaya is one of the hardest points to take in the second point.
Oh yeah, you know, 2CP, it gets really complicated if you don't have any focus. If you don't have any good focus fire, I should say. You know, because the spawn is so close when you're at point B, you need to defend you need to kill the enemy fast enough when they're spawning every 7 seconds and they're coming from this place just only a couple of meters from the point.
Mm-hmm. So really, Volskaya got to clamp down here 1-1 for Hive. They won convincingly 2-0, but finally Inglorious finds the answer against the Hive here, winning Watchpoint Gibraltar 3-2. And now we're gonna have another sub here as McStukes is gonna come back into the game for Tash. So that's gonna be a really big change here. And with McStukes in, Hive has themselves a little bit more of an advantage because McStukes was doing some work back in round 1 in Nepal. Yeah,
that's true. He was bringing him back in here. They probably want. I think it's starting to seem like they have him in for these kinds of maps where it's just, you know, team fights based on one specific point as opposed to a moving objective kind of thing. You know, that's why they keep him for the 2CP, the King of the Hill kind of thing, as opposed to just having him on escort.
All right, so we move on to our next map here. This is Volskaya Industries, so a map close to home for Zarya here, and you can already see the team comms coming up for the Assemble Your Heroes phase. McStukes moving on over to the Zarya, so Zarya could really be a potential threat here, but the one interesting thing is so far in these two maps, we really haven't seen a combo really that kind of features the Zarya comp, mainly the Hanzo Zarya comp. So do you kind of expect these teams to kind of pull out that Hanzo Zarya combo once in a while here?
I would like them to. I think it's ideal. It's such a strong combination right now. It's a little strange that you don't run it, especially given that you do have players who can play snipers. It just must not be like the teams must just not be interested in it. But you know, they really should be. It is a good combination.
So we're gonna have ourselves a defense here, and let's take a look at the team comps here. We go to Hive right now, who has their team comp set. Wiz is gonna have himself time. So moving on over from that tracer we saw back on earlier on Watchpoint Gibraltar. Now we're moving on to Volskaya, and Wiz playing that Zarya with Eco on the Rocket Barrage. So still a little bit of a pretty good team comp if you're Eco and Wiz right now for Inglorious.
5, 4, 3, 2,
Yeah,
1.
completely agree.
Attackers
And-
incoming. Defend objective A.
So we're gonna see ourselves here in the fight for Inglorious. Inglorious tied it up on Watchpoint Gibraltar 3-2. So now Hive has to try and find an answer here to try and take back the lead from them. So we see the team fight already coming up. Tiny and Hermes having that hammer battle with that Reinhardt, but right now Inglorious just pushing it up slowly by tick here. Inglorious gets the tackle on Tiny, so that's gonna help them out, but the shield coming up in the last second there from Mixed Nuke, so that's gonna help them out. Hermes has himself a little bit of time, but it's taken down by Wiz finally. So Inglorious has himself a little bit of a push with a 3-on-1 favor here, but still, Hive being pushed back just a little bit. The only person on point right now is Mixed Nuke, holding off any ticks happening. And Eco trying to get the pick off on Mixed Nuke, which is successful. And finally, Inglorious has the answer. Their first push is successful, so 1 minute down on the clock, but Inglorious already has their first point.
Yeah, winning the first fight is definitely ideal for you. I think the big problem there was Funimation. Funimation doesn't seem like he was really going to bust Tiny shield as much as he should have been. You know, Hermes shield broke so much faster, but the enemy, but Inglorious didn't have a Junkrat. You know, they had the Pharah, which is good, similar, but like it's not the same kind of shield spam that's offered by the Junkrat. So ideally, you should be winning that shield war evenly, or at least close to evenly, but that wasn't the case. I think it's part of why they struggled so much.
So leading the charge here, you're going to see two ultimates coming in here. That's going to be the Valkyrie coming up from Extep, as well as that Rocket Barrage that can be very deadly depending on the use here, as well as Sartre coming up with the Zenyatta Alex as well, who's been very huge all throughout the series. Transcendence coming up huge in more difficult time. So really, the Rocket Barrage coming in for Eco is only going to get a kill before Banana takes him out. So a good hold for Hive so far. Rez is not going to be successful as Funimation notices that right away. And Funimation having himself a game so far with that triple kill on the Reaper. So right now, Funimation, the Reaper, holding off Inglorious for now. And so Inglorious going to have to reset with 5:45 on the clock.
Yeah, Reaper's definitely going to give them some trouble, given the fact they're running this triple tank composition. And Eco's actually going to drop the Pharah for the Widowmaker here, which is a little interesting because it kind of exacerbates the problem they already had, you know, lack of you know, a lot of meat on the point but not a lot of damage. And you know, the Widow is pretty much that, but even more so. Offers less damage overall than the Pharah, although if you land the headshot it can work out for you. So they got to make use of their tank ultimates here if Inglorious wants to get anything.
Earthshatter actually being used by Tiny in that last point here, but Inglorious is going to start off here. Cole comes out with a double headshot, so right now Inglorious has the time to push as Hive has to stagger a little bit. Valkyrie comes out. There's the Graviton Surge. The question is the follow-up. Death Blossom comes out for Funimation, but how about Sartre with this Transcendence, pulling it out at a clutch time right now. Tactical Visor coming out now for Banana. It's going to get Simple, and the Graviton Surge is good. Simple gets the kill on in Artisan. There's the Earthshatter coming in for Hermes. But right now, it is all Inglorious trying to get the stagger here. Getting a few picks, but still a push and shove here as Eco gets another double kill to start us off. And so really another push and shove here by both Inglorious and Hive. But Hive is going to get pushed back. Or sorry, Inglorious is going to get pushed back. Hive has themselves another defensive hold.
You're not feeling really good now if you're Inglorious. You used so many ults. And you know, there was a couple times it seemed like you really had the fight going in your favor. However, they couldn't quite finish it off, and the enemy ended up coming back onto the point. So now they really have nothing to work with aside from these sites, and they have to watch out for the nade freeze, which we'll definitely see coming up.
And really, like you said, the only one really to pay attention to is that nade blizzard coming in here. No ults coming, no ults very close to Inglorious as Eco uses that inference site to try and help out his team figure out the positions, and so far it's working. As Simple gets the DMAC on Mixed Nukes as well as the kill. But Funimation, that Reaper on the first two maps really showing up here on the third map now for Funimation here on Hive. Tackle from Tiny is going to get Hermes, but not much follow-up after that. So really, Hive holding this point very well. But how about the Zenyatta from Sartre? He's going to have his Transcendence up very fast here. Down about only 40% to start off this fight, but he's showing us why. He's one of the top players here. Sartre with the Zenyatta showing off right now. And so here comes the main freeze. The Blizzard coming in here. Where's that going to come, though? It's actually going to get shut down. There it is, right in the middle there. Self-destruct coming in, but 3 people on the point. All frozen, but still no follow-up for the rest of the team. Transcendence coming up from Sartre. And so right now, just a push and shove. Inglorious has themselves the point. 4 people on the point, and it doesn't look like anybody's gonna make it. So Inglorious has themselves 2 points with just over 3 minutes left to go here on Volskaya.
It took a while, but still, 3 minutes is a pretty good capture percentage. Inglorious, that last fight, worked out way better than it did beforehand. They got so much better suddenly with using their ultimates. Instead of just popping 4, 5, or 6 at the same time, you know, they had 4 and they slow burned it. They used 1 and then another, and then, you know, as the situation demanded it, they used whatever else they needed. Because, you know, this is 2 CP. Once all you need to do is capture the second point. But you still shouldn't get too ahead of yourself.
But still, they had 7 minutes on the. They had about 7 minutes on the clock. Inglorious pushed it all the way through, losing about 4 minutes of time. So I guess you could say a really good push by Hive, nonetheless. But still, Inglorious having 3 minutes on the clock. That's going to be huge if we take this to the next round.
Huge indeed. That's definitely a good time bank you want to have. But hey, even then, if they can just hold them and not let them finish, that would be even better for them.
All right, so coming out from the gates here, we're going to see a little bit of a switch here, really. Basically the same thing coming out for Inglorious, except Tiny now on the Brigitte, as well as Eco on that McCree. Everything else pretty much stays the same for Inglorious. You go to the attack of Hive now. Funimation switching it up from the Reaper, unless they plan on switching back right now. Funimation on that Lucio, Banana on the Reaper right now. So really just a little bit of a switch them unless they plan on switching back here. 20 seconds left to go, but still Inglorious trying to stick with the same team comp, maybe hoping for the same result as they did on the second point.
Well, this is a solid comp working in on defense here. As long as they can keep the space for Eco and he doesn't feel too much pressure, because you know McCree lacks a lot of mobility, he should be okay. Tiny with the Brigitte is a really big help for the defense too, because he can help you. The idea is they want to just shield bash Banana, keep him away from his backline, from their backline. I think if they're able to shut down Banana and keep that ground war on their side, they can really hold this.
So we're going to see already, Hive already pushing up right by the side. Inglorious just letting him go by here, so Hive is just going to have himself a little bit of the point already here. Simple's going to have himself a tackle already, and it's going to take down Dynamic B, so that's a huge kill, but also kills himself in the process. So right now, Hive has himself the first tick on this point. Inglorious not really being able to do anything here, trying to push it up, but just getting pushed back. The second tick is going to happen here for Hive. The question is the third. And so right now, the team from Hive working hard, clearing out the point. That's going to be most of the team here. And Hive, another fast take for them. And they're going to have just over 10 seconds more than Inglorious did coming into the second point.
New defense point. Objective B.
Definitely a really reckless charge from Simple Muffin. You got the kill on to the Brigitte, but you have the spawn disadvantage. Why would you do such a thing? And because of that, when they lost their main tank, they had no shield, no one to block the damage, and they suffered for it.
And so right now, Hive just going right into the fight here. Banana with that double kill with the Death Blossom. So far, that Reaper working out in Banana's favor. Here, 5 players on fire. The only one not is Dynamics B here for Hive. Sound barrier drops for Hive here from Funimation here. 3-2 right now in favor of Hive on the point. So Inglorious going to have to find a way to stagger here. Self-destruct coming out. Where's that going to get placed? Right in the backfield. Jet Sartre with no Transcendence. So it's still a fight in Hive's favor right now. 6-1 on the point here. The only one on it is the Valkyrie coming out from McSteph. It may not hold that long, though. It does, though, as Simple Muffin does get on the point. So still, Hive winning this fight, but the stagger happening for Inglorious pretty well.
Yeah, they really set themselves really well. Winning that first fight so candidly allowed them to build ultimates very quickly, and because of that, they had the opportunity to slow burn, like I was saying in the last round. And they're just, you know, slowly using one ult after another into the fight and just slowly building up some more. So now they have Inglorious on the back foot, and it just seems like it's only a matter of time.
Eco moves on over to the Tracer now, gets the Pulse Bomb on Hermes right now, but still looking for a stagger here. Inglorious is going to go down one more time. And here comes the Death Blossom from Banana, gets a double kill on Wes and Nicole. So right now, it's looking good for Hive if they want to try and end the stagger. McStukes ends the stagger on McStep. So right now, the question is, can anybody from Inglorious get back on this point? Hive is going to push them all the way back. A team kill, and Hive is going to have themselves 5 minutes into the next round.
They're definitely feeling really good going into this next round. 5 minutes in your time bank as opposed to 2. Or, sorry, almost 3. Still, it's really great. They, like I was saying, they use their ults way better. Although Wiz really seemed like he was starting to ramp up and pop off. They were just at such a disadvantage by the time that started happening that there was nothing that could be done.
So we're going to see now. We're going to see now the second round here. And already Hive, you look at the time difference here, Hive just coming in with that 2 good pushes right now. Gets 5:17 on the clock, and a lot of times what you see, 4 minutes on the clock in the first round, you usually see that time go down, which is the case for Glorious. But if you're Hive, you really got to feel good about that additional minute 17 on the clock.
Yeah, that's right. So now, with this advantage, 30 seconds left there, we're seeing slightly different comps here. Right now, Hive is actually gonna, oh no, sorry, they're on the defense, so they're gonna do the Moira with the Mei. Guess the idea is they want to separate, so to make perfect use of this, they want to separate people as they're engaging, and then the isolated members will be killed right away, and just in hopes to stop their push. But that is a bit of a problem because, you know, the archway isn't wide enough to completely isolate them.
Attackers incoming.
So yeah, you mentioned the archway. They're a very difficult path to try and get past here. So we'll see if Inglorious can get it past. They have 2 minutes 55, so they took the first point in under a minute here in the first round. So we'll see if that happens here as the Mei wall comes up here for Dynamic V. So really a switch up as he was playing the Brigida earlier. Now on this main to see if they can slow them down a little bit. Tackle from Tiny on Hermes, so right now gets rid of the tank. Dynamic V though gets rid of Sartre, so that takes care of the healer, except with next step on the res. So right now, Inglorious having themselves a good push. No answer right now for Dynamic V's on that Mei right now, so they're just gonna have to find a way. Simple Muffin gets frozen, but right now the only one on point is Dynamic V's on that Mei. McStukes is the last one on point as the Cole gets to kill him. Self-destruct coming up. Is that going to get anybody, though, is the question. Gets a triple kill. Santa Maria gets the D-Mech as well on Simple Muffin. And what a play from Hive to defend this point. Unbelievable.
Unbelievable is right. McStukes. I was immediately thinking, why would you throw that Diva Bomb? That's dumb. That's useless. And just never mind. You got the triple kill. You actually made the point A defense possible. 1 minute and a half left, and Hive still actually are looking pretty good. They're about to come up on the Tactical Visor and the Blizzard. You know, if they can make this work for them, they can actually make this happen here.
So Inglorious already has here Tactical Visor coming out, already shuts down Banana, as well as the Dragon Link coming out from Nicole, gets the kill on Banana. So right now looking good for Inglorious, but don't say anything yet because McStukes comes in here with that Diva, is going to get D-Mech already by Ecole. So this Genji coming out from Ecole, we saw this in the first round, and now Ecole coming back on this Dragon Blade is going to help Inglorious, and they're going to have just under a minute left to go to try and take this point here on the second point on Hive.
Yeah, even though it is really hard to hold the point A, but this is really great if you're Hive. They only, like you said, they only have a minute. However, they don't have too many ults to actually work with, whereas Inglorious, through those pushes, actually developed 5 of them. So this actually is going to be really difficult for Hive here. They're switching onto the Rhine now. No, yeah, they're switching onto the Rhine. They really need to come big with this Blizzard.
Blizzard comes in big though, does get 3 people, but here comes Sartre with that Transcendence, trying to help out his teammates, and that's going to get a lot of fuel points there. So good play by Sartre to keep everybody mostly in the game, except Tiny going down by the hands of Banana. So right now, Inglorious being pushed back all the way. No answer for a Dynamic Beast on that Mei right now. So that Mei coming in handy on the defense here with 30 seconds left to go. Inglorious is pushed back for a reset, and they're going to have maybe 1 fight left before overtime. Yeah,
1 fight left, but it really depends. Funimation needs to build up his Sound Barrier right now because they have the Graviton. Actually, they have 5 ultimates. But the thing that we'll look out here is the Graviton Surge and the Dragon Strike, something that gets so much value, and they have no way to block it.
And ults being used every which way here. Dragon Blade, Graviton Surge, as well as a self-destruct coming out here as well. The only one left with an ult is Simple Muffin with that self-destruct as well. Could be huge, but Inglorious doesn't really need it as they have the point to themselves. 4-1 here with the Lucio coming out from Funimation here. No sound barrier being dropped here and saves it up to the next point. So still a stagger pushing himself. Gonna get mixed up on the Earth Shatter here, but not much else here. Self-destruct coming out for Inglorious. Is that going to get anybody? Does not get anybody as no one is on the point here. Dynamic Beast has the Blizzard. Is that going to get anybody though? Everybody gets out in time as Sauter brings out the Transcendence. So still a little bit of a stagger. Hive is coming back into play though, so we'll see how this works out in their favor in overtime.
It's crazy. It's probably just a matter of time. They're such an advantage here. It would take something crazy for them to actually not finish this point.
Tiny getting the kill on the Earth Shatter as well as a triple kill, but doesn't need the entire overtime. They've got both points and 0.0 on the clock here. They've got a 4-2 lead, so if you're Inglorious, you gotta feel really good about that. They're winning 4-2 on this point right now, but it's Hive's turn to take the attack here with 5:17 on the clock. So Hive's got some time, and if we learned anything from the first round, they know how to push up on their first fight.
They really do, especially if you have 5 minutes. This isn't. I wouldn't be feeling too good if I was Inglorious here, because all Hive really needs to do is finish these 2 points with over a minute left, and then it will automatically throw them into final attempt. And you know, with 5 minutes and how well they played in the first round, it's not too implausible.
So 40 seconds left to go for the setup phase here, as you're going to see the team comp coming out from Inglorious. Going to stay with basically the same thing on as they had back on their attack try, except at this point, Eco is switching on over from to that Pharah rather. So that could be an advantage coming in as they move on to that pharmacy comp with both Pharah and Mercy coming in.
Yeah, this comp could work out for them. I think the idea is they're probably they might be expecting the Reaper. That is how they've been running their attack so far. So if they run the Pharah, they can shave some time off the clock by either forcing him off or just, you know, keeping them at bay.
And speaking of that Reaper 2 coming into play, Banana's going to stick on that Reaper who was so effective with the Death Blossoms on their attack, but now it's his turn to attack one more time. They're going to stick on that Reaper, so like you said, Evo, if they're expecting that Reaper, it's going to come out right now. Here comes another push by Hive right now, electing to go. They went to the left the first time, now they're going to the right here, up top on the upper deck here as Hive is looking for the pick. But right now, Inglorious has them covered, making them spread out just a little bit here. 3 on the top deck, 3 on the bottom floor. Actually, 4 on the top deck if you count Dynamics B on the other side. So Inglorious just having themselves a little bit of a defensive hold, but really, it looked like Hive was just peeking in to see what they had.
Yeah, although they're not going to change anything really. Still, I guess they have so much time, but with Hermes dying right off the bat like that, all they had to do was back off. There wasn't a fight they could win. Now, actually, yep, Banana is going to swap to the Soldier 76, realizing there's not much you can do against Eco, but Eco's getting really close to a rocket barrage, so it's probably something we're going to see soon.
And so we're going to see now trying for the left side here. That little room, though, they may not have much room here if that rocket barrage comes in for Eco here, as we're going to see maybe a self-destruct here. No, Mixdukes is actually just going to raise it up and try and get himself on the point here. Rocket barrage coming in for Eco. That's 1, that's 2 coming in, but not much else after that. But it does help Inglorious get the DMX on Mixdukes, so that's going to take out the tanks here as Wiz gets his kill on Hermes as well. So right now, Inglorious melting the clock away, and Hive needs to find an answer here. 3:40 on the clock, but they still have time. Here, plenty of time left, I should say. 3.5 left to go for Hive to try and take point 3.
Yeah, they're doing well so far. Holding on point A is definitely no easy feat, and they're actually ahead in the ult economy as well too, and they keep making switches on the side of Team Hive, so this is only furthering that gap, although they want to go for the double hit scan because they're just tired of Eco and the Pharah, who's doing so much work here. However, they're going to have to be careful. You know, they still have a lot to deal with in terms of the Diva Bomb and the Valkyrie. So once they're going to have a lot of trouble once they get through those ultimates.
And And so we're going to see on the other side as well, yeah, like you said, not much ult economy coming up for Hive here, as the only person closest to their ults is McStukes, is going to go down on the D-Mech as well, so he's going to have not much time here to try and survive, as Wiz takes him out on the D-Mech as well. In Artisan's going to try the res here right in the middle, which is good. Now we'll see if McStukes can get back in the mech, which is good as well. So McStukes staying on this point, courtesy of In Artisan. And Inglorious is going to have a try here, try and take down the Mercy, which is huge. And Tiny has himself the hammer kill. So really another good defensive hold by Inglorious. And Hive, 2.5 minutes left to go. They got to realize that they're losing clock right now.
Yeah, they are, but you know, they needed those first 2 pushes to actually build some ultimates. Now they're getting towards something here. You know, they got the rally. They're probably going to prepare themselves with some armor before going to the next push. They have the Diva Bomb. They're about to have the Earth Shatter. So as long as they can weather the storm, as long as they can dodge the Graviton from Wiz, because that's probably coming up next.
And so that self-destruct coming out from McStukes at the last second there before the D-Mech there gets the kill on Eco, as well as the D-Mech on the D-Mech on Simple Muffin, but the red's coming up for Eco as he kills himself as well. So that might actually help out Inglorious push up this point a little bit as the tactical visor comes out for Banana. Self-destruct coming out now, just lands inside the room, so not much area there that Banana, or sorry, that who is it? That Simple Muffin has for that ult. So really Hive with a good push here. 1.5 minutes left to go though, so not much time to try and push up this point here. Hive's got to find themselves a way to get the second point in a hurry.
Objective A captured. New defense point.
Yeah, in a hurry they really should be, although it's still not too bad if they're Inglorious here. You know, they shaved the time from 5 minutes to just under 2. They still have the Graviton Surge actually, so you know, they're not in the worst position here. As long as they can deal with Hermes' Earth Shatter, they'll be okay.
Earth Shatter, yes, does come in for Tiny, but is killed forward. But so far, Hive is coming in with McStukes. How about this? McStukes helping out his team a lot on this Diva play right now. Does get D-Mech. Or McStukes actually D-Mech Simple Muffin, who's going to get taken out as well. So 4 people on this point, including the Valkyrie from In Artisan. And that's going to allow the push here for Hive. Inglorious going to get back on this point. Self-destruct coming in. That may have been a waste as McStukes comes in. Here comes the Graviton Surge here. They thought they had the point, but no, they don't, as Eco comes in with the Tracer. And they're going to allow the push here. 1 minute on the clock here. Eco with 3 kills in that last fight, and is going to push Hive all the way back. So just off that 3rd point here, less than a minute left to go. Hive is pushed back. Inglorious has themselves what a defensive stand.
Yeah, it's crazy. You know, as soon as you see Eco or Wiz switch to that flanker hero, they're going to just pop off and get some kills, and that's what they did. Eco already has the pulse bomb. It's looking good for them. As long as they can deal with this armor, and they have to be very careful of Banana's tactical visor. Still, this isn't looking too bad if you're Inglorious.
Inglorious right now holding in the 24 seconds left to go. 4-3, needs to hold this point to be 1 game away from the championship here. Simple is going to get D-Mech'd already from Hermes. There's the tactical visor coming in. Gets the kill on Sartre and Simple Muffin. So right now it's looking good for Hive here on the take with 1 more tick left to go. Deadeye coming in, not going to get anybody here as Funimation loses out on the fun from Banana. Earth Shatter coming in from Hermes, not getting anyone there. Eco, the last stand for him. The overtime happens. And not much self-destruct coming in, not getting anyone in the back. Self-destruct coming in right now, that's going to be from Simple Muffin, not getting anyone as well. So both self-destructs cross, and both self-destructs don't kill. But the stagger here for Inglorious is working out so far. But it's Hive with all the answers for them. 4-1 on the contest right now, as they're going to try and clear out Eco on this Tracer. Not many more options here, but the stagger working out really well here. They're going to have time, but not much. It's finally, Hive gets round 4 here with both points. So now, finally, we see the final attempt. Both teams with a minute left to go.
4-4. Switching sides.
Yeah, that's right. Looks like, yeah, as you say, we're going to the final attempt. So, yeah, no matter what happens, this is the last round for the teams.
Whew, what a game.
Yeah, honestly, this is so much more intense than I thought it'd be.
Yeah, for a 1-4, but like we always say, welcome to the playoffs. I mean, this is insane. A 1 versus 4 matchup here, and they've taken this all the way to the final attempt, and both with only a minute left to go. So this is, I mean, what a matchup right now we're having. It's gonna be,
Yeah,
and even Yeah, this is gonna be. I mean, when this comes to if this takes the game 5 under control, I mean, we still even haven't eaten the hybrid map yet, and this is already turning into a good game. So we'll see what happens here in the prepared defenses mode. We'll see already basically the same setup here. Eco's gonna come onto this Genji, and let's face it, he's been huge this entire series. If that Dragon Blade comes up in time, but with a minute on the clock, that may not be enough time for Eco to bring up that Dragon Blade in time.
I don't know. We've seen Eco actually bring it up very quickly. You know, he plays the Genji so well that I actually think he could get it with the 1 minute.
So the fight, and we'll see if Eco does get up that Dragon Blade too. I mean, like you said, he's getting up quick. So far, already at 10% coming in, 16% already. So he may very well have this. 45 seconds left to go though. Inglorious has to find a way to get through the arch here. They move into the room. Trying to get the tackle in, doesn't get it. Eco does the kill on Dynamic Beast, so that's a huge kill on the Brigitte. So right now, Inglorious has themselves a split. Eco looking for the Mercy pick already, and he does indeed get it. And Tiny's going to have himself the kill on Funimation as well. So a good push right now for Inglorious. Minute left to go. 20 seconds left. 3 people on this point. And really, already, they have themselves a push. What a hold by Inglorious. Nobody going to contest from Hive, so they have themselves 0.5 with less than 10 seconds left to go on the clock.
Yeah, insane. See, what did I tell you? 76%. 30 seconds into the game. Well, actually, no, they just gained another 30 seconds. But the point is, yeah, they're doing really well here. They're way ahead on ults, getting... really, the only saving grace here could be Funimation's Junkrat tire here. That could be really huge, you know. The only 15 seconds left before the overtime starts, and getting a pick or two can really put Inglorious on the back foot.
Ooh, Riptire stalling out a little bit on the May wall from Dynamic Beast. Unable to get it. Self-destruct coming in. The May wall coming in handy, though. Does get it out, but here comes Eco. Here comes that Dragon Blade that we know and love here. Gets the double kill on Hermes and Artisan, so that takes care of the Mercy. Here, the Tactical Advisor. Here come all the ults here. Banana getting himself the double kill. Takes care of Eco as well as Simple, as well as Big Step on the bombs here. On the Helix bombs. So really, Hive has themselves the defense. No one else from Inglorious able to take the point. So Hive now is 1 point and 1 tick on the second point away from winning this game.
Score 4-5. Switching sides.
Yeah, that's right. They're going into this last round. Basically, gonna decide. This is gonna decide it all. You know, either they finish it or they can't. Still, it's been really great so far.
And it's been a really good series here, as you see a lot of pushes by both sides. Very good pushes, might I add, here going into the final time. Now you have a minute left to go. If you're Hive, what do you need to do in order to take down Inglorious here on the first point and the first tick of the second one?
Honestly, you need to get moving. Don't waste any time. You know, they kind of like to take their time, as we saw in previous rounds, try to kind of assess what's going on. That does matter here, but sometimes they take too long doing so, and I think what they really need to do is they need to just they need to try and anticipate what Inglorious is going to play and pick a comp based on that. Because if they don't have time to, you know, see and pick and change your strat around, you know, they really only have one good shot at this.
So yeah, like you said, they only have one good shot at this, but if you're looking at it right now, this could very well line up a draw if they take up the first pick. So I mean, a draw would be kind of huge here in the playoffs if you're either team right now.
5, 4.
Yeah, it would be, and I doubt that's something either of them want. You know, they'd just rather take the win if they can do it.
Defend objective A.
Yeah,
So
now, I was just gonna say, Eco on the Bastion here is really interesting. You know, this might not work as well as they want it to, because basically it all depends on them staying up there. As long as they can, actually no, as long as they don't dive the Bastion, this might actually work out for them, because even though they can't get onto the point, Bastion can just kind of shoot damage onto the point while he's protected from the top.
And also being protected by Tiny as well. So far the Bastion comp is working right now. Here's the push and shove is in favor. There goes Dynamic B on the side right now, helping out that Bastion push. But Inglorious is going to have themselves a full-on team kill, except for Banana and Dynamic Speed, which it actually helps out Hive. So 10 seconds left to go. Somebody's got to get on this point. If you're Hive right now to try and contest overtime, is Banana going to make it, though? That's the question. 2 seconds left to go. Dynamic Beast is going to get stopped in the tracks and not in time. What a hold by Inglorious, and they are now 1 away from the championship.
Yep, 2-1 for them. Man, really good game. Actually, was a good defense. It was something they hadn't ran before, so it was difficult to anticipate. It was because the first point is such an open, wide place. It's great for the Bastion, and Hive didn't run a mobile team that could actually pressure the Bastion on the high ground. So it was really good decision making.
Mm-hmm. And so Inglorious now wins. Watch after going down on Nepal 2-0. We see Inglorious come back here on Watch Point Gibraltar, winning 3-2, and another close game on Volskaya Industries, winning 5-4. So now, if you're Hive, you're one game away from being eliminated, and you're Inglorious, you're one game away from the championship. So if you're both teams, what is the mindset going into our next map, which is the hybrid map?
Well, it depends. If you're Inglorious, you're thinking this is it. We can take it home right now. If you're Hive, you're thinking this can't be it. We can't let them take it right now. You're really starting to feel the heat if you're Hive. You really need to step it up and keep playing. You need to play better if you want to take this.
Mm-hmm. And so before we go on to our next match, the ban would be it looks like they're banning Blizzard World. So yeah, Blizzard World is going to be out, which is a common pick, I guess you could say, for the map pick, but for the map ban. But regardless, let's talk about our two players that are really making a difference for Inglorious right now, Wiz and Eco. What a game from them! If they're playing, like you said earlier, if they're playing the DPS or the flank characters, they can really pop off. So I mean, Hive's got to be a little worried about Wiz and Eco here in the next map.
Oh yeah, I absolutely would be. These guys are. These guys are basically the X factor for this team. They play so well together, especially they're going to be playing on a hybrid map as well. They're definitely in a better position to play the dive if they really want to. And I'm not sure why they don't play the dive all the time. It really plays to their strengths.
Mm-hmm. So let's go, and then now if you're Hive now, you got to try and win this next game, but let's not downgrade their play here either, because they've been playing they played these last two games really close, and also had a very dominant game on Nepal. You watch them play, and the one person, I think the two people that really stand out for me on Hive is going to be Mixed Dukes and Funimation. I mean, they've been going off here and there as well, because you've seen some of their plays, Mixed Dukes with some good diva plays as well, and Funimation on the DPS really working for them with that Junkrat, as well as other characters like Lucio when he had it.
That's true. I think Hive's DPS do play pretty well, but they will have to step it up if they want to make the difference here.
Mm-hmm. So we're going to see a ban on Hive. Try and see if they can get one last coming in. Banana is going to get subbed out for Hive here, and Stub is going to come in for Hive. So once again, another switch, but this was when Inglorious, back in the second game here, this is when Inglorious kind of switched it up and took down Hive when Stub was in the game against or Inglorious took it on over against Hive here when Stub was in the game. They took watch point 3-2, so it's really going to be quite interesting to see if Stub kind of warmed up a little bit and try and move on to take down Inglorious, because we saw Stub on that Widowmaker earlier, but I believe it was Eco that was winning that sniper battle earlier back on watch point.
Oh, it definitely was. Eco was absolutely tearing it up. And it seems like the map being chosen is King's Row, so you might see a lot of Widow.
Mm-hmm. So King's Row, very popular map choice that we've seen all throughout the season here, and really just this hybrid map is just, I believe it's one of my favorites as well, because you've got the close, you've kind of got like the alleys to go on the escort map, but really not much of an open concept except for the first point. So really for both teams, what are you thinking about going into King's Row?
I think Inglorious is thinking probably they could run the dive comp here. They could really it works here. It's good. However, they do like to run the death ball as well, and King's Row is a death ball-y map. It really just depends on what they want to do. I can't say for sure. Team Hive is probably going to stick to the death ball. It's the majority of what they've been running this entire time, and it is really good here. So.
All right, so it looks like we may be taking a break here coming up, as both teams asking for a little bit of a pause. And so we'll see if Yeah, we'll see if there is a pause in between games here. But right now, for those maybe speeding up the video here on the premiere here, Inglorious up 2-1 here against Hive. Watch point in the first round. Hive looking really good in a 2-0 game. And then we move on over to when Inglorious shines. Watch point Gibraltar. They're up 3-2. They win 3-2 there, and Volskaya Industries 5-4. So we'll see if Inglorious now one game away from the championship, if they can take it on, or if Hive takes this to game 5 to try and have themselves a chance on winning this to the championship.
Well, if I might interject here a little bit, from my perspective, one of the things that Inglorious is doing so right, so different than what Team Hive is doing, is they're running a Zen. And that Zen is throwing discords on everything that Wiz and Aiku is fighting. And that's allowing that DPS to really be super effective. So now, we're moving into King's Row. What has Inglorious shown so far to run? They're a little closer to meta. They know that they're running the Zarya. They know that they're running the Zen. And now, neither of these teams have broken out the Hanzo, by the way. None of them have gone for a wombo combo. Zarya are really good. Hey, we're going to throw it in there and absolutely ensure a team win. So I think in the Hive's defense, that's what they need to adjust to. They need to look at their ult combo and come up with a really solid team fight winning combination. Now, what's in their toolkit to do this? Well, they're super heavy death ball. That's just what they do. Now, the downside of the super heavy death ball is that they have a super hard problem pressuring the Inglorious healers. Unless Inglorious healers overextend and put themselves in a bad situation, they're generally not pressured. So that's an adjustment I think the Hive has to make. Either you speed up your game and you turn up the aggression to 11 all the way through, or you completely rethink how you're going to win these team fights. Zarya Hanzo combo is probably what I would be going for.
Mm-hmm. And so as our analyst producer all in one, Cajun Wise Guy comes in. Let's ask one more question here before we get ready for our next map here on King's Row. What do you think, other than the wombo combo here, Inglorious one game away from Hive? What do you see from Hive that needs to change up to try and beat Inglorious?
Now
Pressuring their healers.
King's
They're
Row.
just letting that Zen get too much production in the backfield. Straight up.
Mm-hmm. All right, thank you very much, Cajun. We'll let you get back to your producing duties. Thank you very much, my man. So we move on now over to King's Row, a very much a popular hybrid map choice that we've seen, like I said, all throughout the season here. So we're going to see the assemble the heroes phase, and it's really going to come down to if Inglorious can push it all the way through to win it in this series right now, to cap the series with a 3-1 win, or if Hive can take this to game 5. So really it's going to be a matter of, I believe it's going to be just a matter of whose willpower can take over the other.
Yeah, I definitely agree. This hasn't been like one-sided by any stretch of the means. Both teams been playing pretty evenly, so it really just comes down to the will and strategy, like Cajun mentioned.
So here comes the defense setup here, phase 4, Inglorious, and Inglorious is going to have themselves a little bit of the same thing, and like Cajun was saying, as we've been saying all series long, Sartre with this Zenyatta working so well, he's going to stick on this. And in the meantime, here comes the Widowmaker that we saw. Eco on this Widowmaker and Stub on the Widowmaker here as they prepare the attack. So another Widowmaker battle. This is going to try and reflect Watchpoint Gibraltar. We saw Eco win that battle, but now Stub has to step up to the plate and try and win this battle for Hive to take this to game 5.
That's right. We're going to see Eco versus Stub round 2. Both teams running the death ball. However, Funimation is back on the Junkrat. Definitely a pretty good choice for this map. If he can take advantage of all that spam damage he can do and get rid of Tiny Shield, they can definitely add that pressure to the healers that they haven't been doing before.
And Stub already gets a hit on Eco, so that's a good start for him. Gets the pick on Eco, so what a way to start for Stub on this game. And that allows a push up here by Hive. by Hive, so Hive's really gonna have themselves no worries about the Widowmaker so far. Stubb's gonna get another, taking some damage now as well, but he still has that sniping position up and ready to go. So Hive now with another push coming in. So Inglorious has to find a way to try and defend this point. So far, so good. The tank plays coming in for Hermes and McStukes here as well. And McStukes, like I said, good all throughout the series. One tick already with 4 people on this point. The only one left to try is Eco, but unsuccessful. And less than a minute less than a minute gone by. Hive already has their answer for Inglorious.
Yeah, definitely a good start here. Getting super aggressive just like they need to be. And now they're actually pushing up even further now, trying to get as much space advantage as they can to push the card. However, it might not work as well as they wanted to.
Because Ecole also gets 2 kills, so that's going to stagger out Hive just a little bit. Gets the kill on Funimation as well as Dynamic V, so I believe that was. And also gets the pick on Ecole, so Stubb now stepping up the game here for Hive here. And they're going to be allowed to push up here. Tiny gets the backer, gets the ender on here. Tries to get a tackle, but not much help. Stubb gets rid of McSteph, so really this Widowmaker battle coming into play, and it's all on Stubb right now. Has the infrared sight already over Ecole faster, and he's going to have the infrared sight to let Inglorious know that we're on our way.
Yeah, now they have the armor, they have the Brigitte ultimate, they have a few ults working for them here. You know, that last push would have gone better for them if their shield tanks were up and ahead. You know, when you leave someone on the payload like that, you want to leave a support or somebody who doesn't block damage, and that's why they struggled. That's why Eco was able to get those picks so easily, but they're still making it work for them.
Self-destruct gets placed in the back rooms, gets that Zenyatta from Sartre, but is right away from McSteph, so a good one here. Self-destruct coming in on the backfield. Is that going to get anybody, though? Simple does get rid of the mech from McStukes, but Stubb's going to punish Simple for the attempt. So right now, Hive has themselves a little bit of low health all the way through, and here comes the Riptire from McSteph, and Eco gets the double kill. So Tiny's going to have to Tiny just pushes up Inglorious a little bit, and Hive is going to have to reset.
Oh, insane Junkrat tire here, but then you gotta wonder what's the point. You know, so much of your team is dead. Sure, you got a double kill, but there's nothing your team can actually do with it. And because of that, now they're down to no ultimates, save for Hermes' soon-to-be Earthshatter, whereas the Inglorious has almost 4 ultimates going for them.
And so we're going to see here Dynamic V on still on the Brigitte looking for something here. Funimation gets the pick on McSteph here, so that takes care of Inglorious's mercy. Here comes the Graviton Surge already there for Wiz. No follow-up though. And here comes the Earthshatter from both sides. Tiny and Simple both going down. The D-Mech on Simple though, and just that hammer swinging away from Hermes is going to have himself a double kill, plus the D-Mech on Simple. So Hive is going to have themselves another push here, and they're into the final point.
The payload has reached the checkpoint.
Definitely well played by them. Now they have to watch out. Eco has walls up, and Funimation does have the Junkrat tire though. They could probably make another good push around this corner here, but Inglorious has both of their support ults, something they do need to watch out for. They probably want to draw them out before they try and make any serious attempts.
Simple and McStukes going at it in the Diva battle there, but McStukes is going to win that up top as Funimation also helps him out with the D-Mech. Here comes the Riptire getting Starcher, so far Funimation helping out this push for Hive, and Tiny is going to get a tackle on McStukes. Here comes the Coalescence from In Artisan. We'll see if that helps them out as well. Moving into the home stretch here in the final meters, coming up 4 people on this point, nobody contesting it here. Simple's the only one that's going to be able to try and control this point. Starcher also tries and stalls out with this Transcendence, holding on to the point. And right now, it's all Hive trying to take this point over. So Self-Destruct coming in. Is that going to get anybody? Gets the double kill on the Eco and Satra, as well as the D-Mech on Simple. So right now, Hive has themselves a good place so far. McSteph only gets the rest on Satra. That's going to stall them only a little bit. But the third point is going to come to Hive here, as with a lot of time on the clock. Now Inglorious has to try and reflect that here in their try.
Yeah, you know, it seemed like Inglorious kind of fell apart towards that last push.
Switching sides.
You know, Hermes didn't block, didn't really even seem to try and protect his team from the Diva Bomb. There was a lot of things just not really going right for them. Not a lot of ults they were actually using. And because of that, that last push for Hive was just pretty easy. Easier than it should have been.
And so Now that Hive with that easy push in that home stretch is super important, but they really just pushed through, and Inglorious had no answer. So now you come into Inglorious. Hive knows the stakes going into this, and that's why they had such a good push. They only lost 42 seconds on the clock from that last push there, so 3:18 on the clock is a lot of time here. But if you're Inglorious now, you got to kind of switch it up a little to try and push through Hive's defense as they come into the setup defense.
Yeah, that's right here. Looks like they're gonna run the. Oh my goodness! The first time in this series, we're actually gonna see the Hanzo.
See stub on Hanzo as well as McStuke, so we may very well see the Wombo combo here, the very big combo with the Graviton Surge as well as the Dragon Strike. But keep in mind, Satra is on that Zenyatta still, so if that comes up, if the Transcendence comes up, if you're Hive, you gotta take down Sartre first in order to try and get the chance on Inglorious for that Graviton Dragon Strike combo.
Well, even then, if you're throwing the Dragon Strike into the Graviton, it nullifies so much of the healing that the Transcendence does. So as long as your team follows up and also throws their own damage into it, the Transcendence is meaningless.
2, 1.
So here we go. Inglorious now 4 minutes away from tying this game up. Hopefully, if not, Hive has themselves game 5 if they can hold this for all the way through. We're going to see the push up already from Inglorious. A very aggressive push. No Widowmaker to be seen here. So it's going to be just a battle of the lower ground right now as we see Eco on the Genji already shut down by Stub. So Stub halfway through his ult already. Except at the same way, also halfway through his ult with that Mercy. So good healing by McStep so far. But it's still Hive that's pushing him up. And really just a team play here by Hive is going to push Inglorious all the way back to their spawn on the reset. So 40 seconds in, not the same push that Hive had. Inglorious is going to have to reset.
Reset they do, and they're already making swaps to the comp, now going for a triple tank here with the D.Va, probably with the intention of eating some damage here from Funimation. But still, you know, they got a lot to worry about. They lack a lot of ultimates as a result. The only thing they're really going to have is the Valkyrie, but still, they got to watch for the Earth Shatter. I think it's really going to be on Tiny to block that if they're going to make any meaningful progress.
Dragon Strike being used right down the middle. They're not going to get anybody as everybody could. So right now the Valkyrie, I don't believe I saw Valkyrie come out there. McStep is going to stave it for a little while here, but Hive is going to get themselves pushed back here as Inglorious has themselves a little bit of a try. 3-1 on the point thus far though. Tiny goes for the tackle. Hermes also misses as well. But right now, the Arc Shatter coming in for Hermes. Tiny does block it a little bit, but Wiz does go down with it. Still alive though, and Wiz is going to have himself a little bit of a push here with that Zarya, and Tiny is going to help him out as well. So Hive is going to have themselves a good first defensive hold, but it's Inglorious that's going to have the answer back, and it's going to take it with just over 2 minutes left to go.
Really great block by Tiny there. That Earth Shatter actually could have turned it around, but he blocked it so masterfully it didn't even matter. Now they captured the point on their second try. They have a few ults going for them too. You know, this is all right. You're feeling pretty good. They can actually make some progress here. They just need to get aggressive.
So you're going to see the Junkrat for Funimation with that Riptire that's been effective in some points here, looking for something here. On the other hand, you have the Urge Shatter coming in for Tiny as well as Sartre, so really just a push to see which willpower is stronger here as they try to make it around the S-curve here. There's turn number 1, and we'll see the Riptire come out from Funimation, trying to get in the background. Graviton Surge coming in. Will that be able to help out? The Riptire coming in does get the double kill on Wiz and Tiny. Transcendence coming out from Sartre, so right now, Inglorious has themselves a stall, but it's going to be Hive that's going to be able to defensively push them back as Simple goes down with the T-Mac from Funimation. Coalescence coming out as well. So really just a good defensive hold from Hive as Tiny's going to be pushed back with next step.
Yeah, you must be feeling pretty bad if you're Sartre there. You don't need to use the Transcendence when it's the Junkrat tire, because you know that it's just burst damage. You can't be healed. All it does is save your life, but for a fight you were never going to win anyway, and it just really sucks. Now they don't have that ultimate. Now into the next fight for Inglorious. Wiz has the Graviton Surge. As long as they can get some follow-up, they could do something with that. However, I don't know if Eco is enough for that.
We'll see as well. Dynamic Speed coming in with that rally to help out Hive with that Riptire coming in for Funimation now. Coming up from ahead Is that gonna get anyone? It does get Sartre, so that takes care of one of the healers, but still mixed up in with that Valkyrie, gets the res on Tiny. So right now still Hive having this up, a little bit of a push. Tiny tries to get the tackle from the top, but is unsuccessful with it. Still the push with the tanks here. Simple is demexed by Mixdukes, so right now Mixdukes on this tank, still working very well. Hive gets, or sorry, Inglorious gets it around the first turn, looking for the second turn here, and will get it around the second turn, but the question is, with 2.5 minutes left to go, can they push it to the third point?
Oh, they definitely can. You know, they're still looking pretty good. They have 3 ults going for them, and that huge Earth Shatter.
And Graviton Surge coming in now. That's going to be from Mixdukes, but Gus goes down with it, so not much of a play there. No follow-up as well, as nobody really had their ults coming in. And Eco with that sniper on the Widowmaker coming in. They make it around turn number 3, and the next turn coming into the point, they're going to have additional time. 1.5 minutes, 3.5 minutes left to go here, so they're running out of time if compared to Hive here. Inglorious has themselves point 2.
Yeah, they're probably not going to capture as quickly as Hive did, but still, they're looking pretty good. They're forcing Hive to either waste ults, or they're forcing Inglorious to either waste ults or just making no use of them. You see a good shot by Eco onto Artisan, completely wasting the Coalescence. You know, if they keep that stuff going for them, it'll be good. Graviton Surge is really huge too.
So Graviton Surge is used for Inglorious, but that also helps out the fight there, as they're going to get a push here. And the first turn, we'll see if they can make it around the second turn here. Coming up with another team fight, coming up from behind is Dynamics B, and he's going to stand alone as the Brigida. So right now it makes it around turn number 2, and this payload is in the home stretch.
Home stretch indeed. Stub popping the sights, definitely making full use of it. You know, this is their last chance. Tiny's about to get another Earth Shatter. Hermes dies before he can use another one. He really needs to be the hero for his team here.
So the rally coming out for Dynamics B here. Earth Shatter coming in, does get Funimation, so that could be huge if they get the kill on him. Does indeed do so. So the only one stalling point right now. Hermes gets the tackle, launches up, and Stub with the DMAC as well as the kill. How about Stub going off here with a double kill as well as the DMAC on Simple right now? But Eco is going to end the life of Stub for this for that round, but Hive is going to be pushed back as Simple kills himself. Hive with a good defensive hold, and it's 2 minutes away from taking this to game 5.
Yeah, I'm starting to think Inglorious should probably swap the comp here. You know, the triple tank was working for a while, but you don't have any follow-up to the Graviton, you know. There's not a whole lot the Widowmaker can do when they're all clumped up like that. The Ryan Shield's gonna block it, especially when you're facing the likes of Funimation with all that shield break. Yeah, they really need to switch to something that really helps them break through the scum.
Funimation comes in with the Arch Shatter, gets Wiz and Sartre, so Stub also going to help out here. So what a play by Hermes and Funimation. 4 kills all together for them. And once again, Simple's going to have to kill himself and reset. So Hive with a quick defensive push. Inglorious, not much time left to go, just over a minute left to go to see if they can push this all the way to point 3 and try and tie it up here.
Yeah, 1 minute still isn't the worst, although you don't want to cap it in overtime because then it pretty much just guarantees that they actually won't be able to win it.
So we'll still see that triple tank comp coming in, and I'm sorry.
No, as I say, they're not actually opting to switch it. The only one making the swaps there are Eco. Eco's gonna play the Genji now. Probably for the best, because now at least there's some good follow-up for the Graviton Surge.
See if he can get it there in time. Wiz is going to die by the hands of an artist. But Eco's got to find a way to get this Dragon Blade up. 30 seconds left to go. It's halfway there. But Eco stands alone with mixed up right now. They're going to back up. So Hive having themselves a game right now as they are pushing back them all the way, getting them out of the home stretch. And right before turn 2, so Inglorious, 1 more fight left to go.
Yeah, 1 more fight indeed, especially now. Although this is looking alright for them, if they could actually just get some follow-up from the Graviton.
Graviton Surge does come up contestable points, so we do have overtime. So Inglorious does get 2 kills here. Sound barrier does drop. Here comes Funimation with that junk, with that Riptire. Does get mixed up, so there goes the healer. He goes on this Dragon Blade, though, gets the kill on an Arson and Dynamic B as well. We've seen him all game with that Dragon Blade look good, and he's going to help Inglorious. Right now, Hermes uses that Earth Shatter for no use there, as he's...
No one can hide from my sight. Let's stop that payload.
push back. What a play by Hermes to keep his team alive there. Pushes back the bomb here. Inglorious is still going to have himself a little bit of a push here. And Artisan's the only one contesting the point. And Wiz also DMX mixed Dukes. So right now, Inglorious has themselves team leads here, but the stagger is also humming on. Funimation with his red tire gets the kill on Wiz and Simple, and that clears the point. And that is going to do it. Team Hive takes it to game 5.
Insane. This is such a close game we're seeing here.
Play of the game.
So we'll see play of the game here. 3-2, your final score here. And what a game from Funimation, really, on this Junkrat, helping out his team so much, both in the attack round and the defensive round. He's been so good with Junkrat in that round, and just Hive taking this to game 5. So what an exciting semifinal round we've had so far.
Yeah, it's super exciting indeed. When again, like I really didn't expect it to be like this. Both teams playing so well, and we're seeing so much. Compositions come out of here. Really good DPS play, especially.
So let's give you the recap so far in this game. Hive wins the first map on Nepal 2-0. Then Inglorious comes in with the win on Watchpoint Gibraltar 3-2, and winning another close one on Volskaya Industries 5-4. And in that last match you just saw, Hive takes Kings Row, takes the crown there 3-2. So now we move on to game 5. There can be no tiebreaker. There can be no draw. This is it. Control map coming up here, and Inglorious is going to have themselves the pick. So really, Nepal was already played. So if you're Inglorious, I mean, according to their team comp, what about Inglorious? What map, if you're Inglorious, should they play?
Oh, I think the map 5 is Control. Is that right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I think Ilios would really work for them.
Ilios, yeah, one of my favorite maps personally, especially when you get to the well, right? That environmental kill right in the middle. If you're playing Roadhog or Risa or Farah, whoever's got the environmental strategies to put them in the well, I mean, that's huge if you can get kills like that.
Yeah, absolutely. And the other two maps are really dive favored, I would think. Actually, I think most of Control is dive favored. So I think they would benefit greatly from most maps, because they would just allow Wiz and Eco to play that Genji Tracer, and that's what you want if you're Inglorious.
Mm-hmm. So Oasis is banned, but we are going to see for our final map Lijiang Tower with the pick from Inglorious there. So Ilios was banned, or sorry, Oasis was banned, and now Lijiang Tower, the final map to decide who moves on to play Reignited in the championship round here in the NA Gold Platinum playoffs for season 3. So really, it's just a matter of who has the better willpower, who has the stronger willpower to move on in to the championship round. And this is really important because in the first round, I mean, Hive is your #1 seed, and they proved it back in the first round. But then you see Inglorious finally stepping up the game in 2 and 3. Hive has the response in game 4, and now it comes down to this. 2 points to win it all. 200% one of these teams now 200% away from moving on to the championship.
That's absolutely right. Yep. This pretty much all comes down to this one last map.
So it's going to be, I mean, and let's go back here for those that are more or less speeding up the series here. But what a match we've had so far here, because it's been, should I say, close games all throughout the series, because Inglorious and Hive are playing like this should be the championship match right now.
Yeah, absolutely. You know, we're getting pretty much what we were promised and then some.
Mm-hmm. And so the playoffs, we're getting our money's worth here as Inglorious taking it all the way to game 5, and really just watching these teams here. You're saying the DPS coming out from Eco, but what about the play from Stub there? Stub coming out with that Widowmaker, just helping out his team entirely, and Stub really actually winning that Widow battle against Inglorious right now.
Yeah, that's right. Although since we're playing Lijiang Tower, we're probably not going to see the most amount of sniper play. Actually, we're going to just see a lot of. I would bet we're going to see quite a bit of Pharah. We've seen Eco play the Pharah before too, so I actually think this is going to look pretty good for Inglorious just based off of that.
Oh, okay. A little bit of a switch up here in the subs. Sartra's gonna go out, and Tash is gonna come back in. So that's a huge sub because Sartra on that Zenyatta has been good all series long, but Tash now comes in for Sartra. So this is really gonna be a big change for Inglorious.
Yeah, huge. Definitely a big change indeed. They're gonna be running the Zarya. They're probably gonna run this Ryan Zarya play as well. That's gonna give them a lot of good setup here because they can just run their own wombo combo, the Graviton and the Rocket Barrage, and you know the way we see Eco build it so quickly, it can definitely do some serious damage here.
Mm-hmm. So we're gonna see if Tash comes in and try and change up the game a little here as Inglorious once again losing that last round on King's Row, needs to win this against Hive, and the same thing going for Hive after losing maps 2 and 3 on Watchpoint Gibraltar and Volskaya Industries. They won King's Row and now have the momentum going into Lijiang Tower as we move on to the final map here on the semifinal between the Hive and Inglorious. Will we see Inglorious come up to glory and take it to the championship game, or will the Hive take it away and swarm themselves into the championship round as well? So it's going to be a battle of willpower. It's going to be a battle of strength. It's going to be a battle of ultimates. It's going to be a battle in general. So we will see who comes out with the final victory here. 200% away for either of these teams to make it to the championship round.
Yeah, that's right. It's all coming down to this, and just about 40 seconds until we about 40 seconds until we get this started.
So the Assemble the Heroes phase here as we get ready to prepare attack phase here for 30 seconds left to go, and you're going to see the team comms coming up now, and Tash subbing in for Sartre earlier moves on over to the Lucio. We saw Sartre very effective on this Zenyatta, and now Tash is playing on this Lucio, so it could be very effective here because we've seen there is opportunities for Lucios to get the environmental kill, but also a very good opportunity in such a closed environment for them to get a heal, to get heals as well.
4, 3, 2.
Yeah, that is true. Actually, instead now we're gonna see Wiz run the Pharah as opposed to Eco, but still, this is pretty good for them as long as they watch out for Stub, who is on the Widowmaker here. They need to definitely keep him off balance because he can really shut down Wiz, and that might actually be a huge problem.
And Inglorious are going to move into the point first here as we're going to see we're going to see more aggressive Inglorious trying to take over this point as it unlocks in 5 seconds here, but still Hive with a little bit more of an advantage as Stub gets the pick off on McStep, so that takes care of one of the healers. The only one left is Lucio, and so right now 4-1 advantage on the point for Inglorious halfway to the first take here. Wiz has themselves 2 kills, make that 3, and the DMAC on McStooks. And McStooks is going to go down by the hands of Tiny, but Wiz coming off with this Pharah. So far, so good for Inglorious. They have themselves the first strike here on Lijiang Tower.
Well, definitely a great start for them, especially with Eco canceling the Coalescence with the flashbang. Really great. That's something they got absolutely no value of, and now they have to rebuild from scratch. Because of that, now they have almost 5 ults going for them, when all they really have to worry about from Hive is the Earth Shatter that's impending.
And Stub using that infrared sight. Earth Shatter coming in is blocked. So, Tiny's going to use that Earth Shatter. Eco does get the Deadeye on Dynamic Beast. So once again, a better push here by Inglorious as Hive is going to move all the way back. Stub trying to just get any picks that he can. But right now it's going to come undecided here as Inglorious has themselves another hold. 40% on this point right now.
Yeah, and only 2 ultimates used as well. They still have the Diva Bomb. And both support ults actually, it's looking good, and they haven't actually built anything on the side of Hive either, so they really got to get moving now.
And so actually, Artisan's going to go down by the hands of Wizard there, so he's going to get off the map, so that allows a little bit more of a defensive, a little more of a breath from Inglorious here, as Simple is going to go down. Stub takes out Wiz, but not really going to have any of a follow-up here as Wiz gets rezzed by McSteph. So another good defensive hold by Inglorious as they're going to push up to their spawn point just a little bit. No, they're going to come back to in the center, but another good hold. Hive maybe having only one more push left as this percentage goes up to 75.
It's insane. Like Inglorious is playing so calculated right now. Their team play is so good. They're using their ults so well together. They're not wasting a single one, and it's why they've gotten so far. They're at 90%. They have 5 ults.
And so make that 4 ults as Eco goes down though. So here comes the Death Blossom here from Funimation. Does get 1, does get 2 on Wiz. So right now Hive has themselves a full-on clear. Eco the only one alive, and Hive has themselves the first flip. But with 99%, you gotta wonder if you're Hive, you gotta hold this all the way right now.
Yeah, 99%, and you have no ults. This is over. Inglorious is gonna walk back in, throw all their ults in their face, and then that's gonna be that.
We're gonna see Hive just a little bit staggered here. That Reaper from Funimation staying in the corner, looking for any picks that he can. So we'll see if that is successful. Tiny notices him right away. Is gonna miss.
Thanks for the assist.
Back a little bit, so Hive has themselves a good first defensive hold here at 99-50 right now.
It's a little strange. I'm not sure what they're afraid of. All of a sudden, Inglorious has become so passive and docile. They need to push their way in there and just start pressing Q. You know, they have such an overwhelming advantage right now, and as time goes on, that advantage is lessening. So they need to do something about it.
So the Q button on hold right now for 5 ultimates here. Eco, Wiz, McSteph, Simple, and Tiny all having their ultimate is how and when they use it here. Coalescence coming out for an Arsene, going to use it right away. Death Blossom comes out for Funimation, but isn't going to be successful here. Eco uses that Deadeye. There's the Earth Shatter. Self-destruct coming in now. He's going to get 1, 2, 3, and 4. Santa Maria! What a kill from Mixduke. That's going to help Hive make another defensive hold. And right now, unless anybody from Inglorious can get it back, Hive is going to have themselves the win here. What a drop the mic moment from McStukes. 3% left, 2, 1. Is anybody going to get there? Yes, they can. Here comes Eco on that Tracer. Comes and just in time here. Still looking for some picks, but Hive with a good defense here. 99-0, but now they're in control here. Rocket Barrage coming out from Wiz. Is that going to get anybody? Not going to get anyone here. Does get the DMAC on McStukes, so that's huge, though. Could be very huge as Inglorious is moving on here. Next step gets the res on Wiz. And Tash and Nicole, how about this team clearing out the point? It's going to get the 99-99 flip with 6 people on the point. Now the question is anybody going to make it? No! What a game! Map number 1 going to Inglorious 100-99. Holy cow.
Unbelievable. Yeah, it looked like they lost the point, but they did it in such a way that they had time to switch it back, switch the comp around a little bit, you know, add the Tracer, and just start making their way back to the point as soon as possible. And they managed to make it and played exactly like Inglorious played. You know, they played just like a well-oiled machine. Just started taking down Hive one by one, and there's nothing they could have done.
All right, so Inglorious now 100% away after almost losing that first point on the night market. Now has a chance to take it home. Is 100% away from moving on to the championship round. Eco on the Reaper now, and we go on to the other side. Funimation stakes on that Reaper, so we will see a Reaper v Reaper battle. But McStukes and Stub, the last hopes here with the combo, the Zarya Hanzo combo right in play, and we'll see how that affects it. Inglorious is going to be the first ones on the point here. Hive just trying to get the end around here, as in Artisan starts off with a kill on Tash. Tiny gets Funimation though, so this is going to be a battle of a push and shove here. And right now, Inglorious winning the fight here. 2 people on the point. And Artisan's going to stick on this point as the Moira right now, just trying to pick off either Tash or McSteph here. But right now, still working in the favor of Inglorious. 4 people on the point. High pushed all the way back, and Inglorious now 100% away from making this to the championship round.
Yeah, great capture by them. It's honestly a huge pin from Tiny. Before dying, he shoved his way right in and pinned Funimation, who's honestly the biggest threat. you know, all the damage that comes out from the Reaper, and he just took him out instantly. And I don't think this would have worked if he pinned anybody else.
So 20% now, 20% now, less than 80% away. Inglorious is on their way to the champion. Unless Hive can take it away and take this to game 3 here. Funimation starts off with the kill on Tiny, but McStep with the res there as well. Eddie Cole really winning this Reaper battle right now, but still, Stub on this Hanzo, and here comes McStukes as well with their ults here. Stub gets Wiz. In the meantime, though, Ad gets Tash, so that's going to be 2 big kills there. Hanzo with the Graviton Surge and the Dragon Strike coming up here. We'll see when and where they use it here. Death Blossom coming up from Eco, gets the double kill on Stub and McStukes, so that's going to hold off Hive on their attempt for the choke here. So Eco's really going to have themselves a good hold. Urge Shatter coming in for Tiny, gets 4 people, that's huge, but no follow-up really. Eco, though, does get in the background, gets 2 kills, so Hive needs an answer. 60% Inglorious with another good defensive hold.
Wiz is going to switch onto the Tracer. Really good, managing to hold on. 70% to 0. They're doing so well right now. Although they got to watch out, they do have the Wombo combo on the side of Hive. So if they got to keep themselves spread out if they want to avoid getting smashed.
Here comes the Graviton Surge, not getting anybody. Actually, the only person there, Tiny. Dragon Strike is used, only going to get Tiny though. So the self-destruct now coming in from Simple. Is that going to get anybody? No, it is not. So still, McStuff gets the res on Tiny after dying to the Dragon Strike Graviton Surge combo here. So still Inglorious. The story though, it was 99% for Inglorious earlier, but Hive took it over. But it looks like Inglorious has themselves the chance to end it all right here. Urge Shatter coming out as well. Overtime happening, only 1 person left. Funimation, and nobody, unless anybody else can get onto the point, it is Inglorious moving on to the championship round. From a 100 to 99 to a 100 to nothing game, Inglorious shows off one, and they are in the championship mode. They play Reignited for the gold medal.
Man, what a great game. They truly went the distance.
And the big one here, McStukes with a quadruple kill from Team Hive, but it's not enough. The Swarm dies, and Inglorious steps up to the plate. Inglorious knows that they lost King's Row. They have the momentum on their side. They move on to the championship match, and what a game by both sides. What more can you say about these two teams right here?
Honestly, they both played so well, but Inglorious definitely, although not starting out so great, and ended up winning this and just, you know, showing that they were the better team. You know, better strategies, team comps, and better, I think overall better mechanical play.
And so, I mean, what a game as we start to wrap up our production here, and really let's get some other opinions here. As Cajun, if you're here, man, you can go ahead and speak up on the mic here, because he's our analyst, producer, caster. I mean, he's an all-around guy. But Cajun, are you here, my man?
Yes, I am.
All right. So, what a game 5. I mean, talk about what happened there between Inglorious and Hive there in the final game.
Well, you know, we go back to we were kind of discussing off camera a little bit before this. We went into Lijiang Towers, and one of the things that we talked about was Pharaoh was going to be a huge asset for Inglorious, because we never seen really Hive run the Pharah. And when Inglorious did run the Pharah, it got a lot of value out of it. And sure enough, the first map comes out, and you know, the Pharah's out and played for Inglorious. Now, Hive was trying to run a Widow to counter it, but it wasn't effective. I would have gotten off of the Widow very quickly, because, yeah, I see what they're trying to do. I see they're trying to counter the Pharah, but the Pharah's staying out of view, peeking in and out of windows, using the terrain, using corners, really making it hard for the Widow to snipe the Pharah. And when the Widow did take down the Pharah that was on Inglorious side, it was usually like on the point. So the other team would just kind of collapse and play real defensive. So it was kind of yeah, you got me, but it didn't really matter. Now, I think Inglorious got a little bit of a break, because you mentioned it. First map with Inglorious, they ran it up to 99. They had all 6 outs, and then it's like they just drained the aggression out of the team. They didn't go in and just waffle stomp them with 5 and 6 ults and just definitively take that point. and they kind of allowed Hive to have a shot at it, and gave them some chance to work their way in. So this easily could have gone to 3 maps. I think Hive, by all intents and purposes, did everything that they could do, and Inglorious still kind of came up the victor on that first map. So now we move on to Control Center. I know what the Hive was doing, but again, we go back to what was one of the differentiators that Inglorious ran throughout this entire thing, and that was the Zen. So Tosh switches from Lucio on the first one to Zen on the second one, and the Reaper for Inglorious was just doing a tremendous amount of work. Everybody was kind of in there pitching, but you watch it from my perspective, and the Reaper, I've had no answer for the Inglorious Reaper. They would push on to points with big meaty targets, and the Reaper was there, and the Reaper countering Reaper was not working out for the Hive, and the Hanzo in the backplane wasn't getting the picks that a Hanzo needs to get. And if I were to go back to anything, it was like the Hive kind of rolled the dice and said, man, we got to try something. Well, let's go for the Hanzo. And I'm looking at the positioning of the Hanzo, and yeah, it was a standard deployment. You're behind the shields, you're kind of working the point, but at the same time on the Control Center, it's real busy. You got people ducking in and out around that center point. You got shields going everywhere, and it just wasn't a good stable. I think I would have run Hanzo more as a soldier, try to get high ground and kind of get above the fray a little bit there. So that's probably the small bit of advice I would have given the Hive. Overall, though, Hive walks in as the favorite, #1 seed, and the Inglorious just they ran a great series. They struggled on certain maps, because here's the for Inglorious, what do they struggle with? Once they start getting rolled, they can't stop the bleeding, and the Hive is a great team for doing that. They death ball you, they just get things going, and Inglorious really couldn't see this, and that's why King's Row was so great for the Hive. They would just start that truck rolling downhill, and away it went. And Inglorious didn't have that momentum builders that the Hive does with just that death ball experience. So that's where the King's Row went the Hive direction. So overall, though, this was a pleasant surprise. Initially, I thought the Hive were going to come in here and be 2-0. And here we are, Inglorious 3-2, moving on into the finals. So this should be a great finals setting up here. Who do we have left in this bracket? I think it was...
So actually, in the championship game here, we're gonna have #4 Inglorious take on #2 Reignited, who also had themselves a 3-2 game in the semifinal. So this is gonna be a really good one. But
there you go,
so it's gonna be a really good game here, 2 versus 4 coming into the championship. But I'm gonna get your guys' final thoughts here, as like I said, we try to wrap it up. Final thoughts here. What is one thing Inglorious needs to do, from both of you guys actually? What is one thing Inglorious needs to do to try and win it out in the championship round?
I think for Inglorious, largely they found a formula for success. You keep doing what you're doing. I think they need to tweak their Zarya ult combo a little bit. I saw them running Zarya a lot, but I didn't see a lot. They got production out of the grabs, don't get me wrong, but I think they can... If they want to go into the finals, that would be one area I would be looking at. A little bit more production out of the grabs. Second thing for Inglorious is that the Zen usage, really useful, really productive, but I think he held his ults too much in a defensive position. There's a lot of times I think, especially going back to Volskaya, they could have won that point easily if Zen had just ulted and just healed up his team and just captured it. But he held it in a defensive fashion. Hey, we're going to pop this when something bad happens, instead of an offensive ult to secure the point. I think that would be, for the Inglorious, those would be the 2 areas I would examine for a little bit of tweaking.
And then beatdown. So we were you and I were watching this game all the way through. So what do you think Inglorious needs to do to try and win this in the championship?
I kind of agree with Cajun. I think not just in their strat. I think they need to build their comps around the Zarya more, because you know what, the Graviton Surge is so strong in this meta right now. It's like we saw a few times they would run like a triple tank with the Zarya, and their only DPS was the Widowmaker, and you know that doesn't really work. The Grav has no follow up. There's nothing serious or meaningful you can do, and I think that's like a big problem they might face in the future. I think they should just run Hanzo more. Honestly, I feel like they have players capable of doing so, because the Hanzo Zarya is just too good right now.
All right, and then so on one more thought from he's our producer here. He just said that Ecole needs to play more Genji, and I kind of agree as well, because that Genji play from Ecole, I mean, he got no less than 1 or 2 kills on that Genji Dragon Blade, which was huge coming into it. So Inglorious really having themselves like good of a game, and then McCree coming in as well. I mean, the McCree coming in as well, but I mean, more or less that Genji for Ecole really
I
showing
agree.
off his stuff.
I agree. You know, that's one of the things for Inglorious I wouldn't touch. You found your formula for success. You rock it until the other team tells you no.
All right. Well, that's it. That's going to be it for us here. We thank you for watching this pre-time champion. We have ourselves a good one going into the championship game. For our production crew here, carry me on the producer or on the match referee, as well as Cajun Wise Guy, our producer / analyst. Beatdown Boulevard as our color. My name is Clutchy. As your play-by-play announcer, Inglorious winning a great battle against your #1 seed Hive. 3-2, they move on to the championship round in our NA GOAT Platinum playoffs.
Man, I need those things.